Hello my friends, to help celebrate the holiday season, today we're going to learn how to paint up this lovely figure from D-Day Miniature Studio depicting none other than Father Christmas himself. This figure is inspired by this classic photograph from 1940 of a British soldier in London dressed up as Santa, Mark II helmet and all, delivering presents in the height of the Blitz. Pretty powerful and heartwarming stuff. To start today, as always, let's prime our figure with a coat of black primer to give us a nice, even base layer to work with. Once that's dry, we're going to break out some of our red paint and spray that all over Santa's coat. Now, word of advice here, go very slow with this. I find that this red paint has a tendency to run if it piles on too heavy, so spray very lightly and work up in layers. Or if you want to brush paint in the red, you can do that as well, just saving a little time here with our airbrush. Alright, once we've got that nice vibrant red on there, we can move on to our face. Also, if you do airbrush the coat, don't worry about overspraying onto the face and the sack and stuff. We'll paint over that in just a bit. For Santa's face, we're going to use my trusty Faces Made Easy technique here. If you haven't checked out my face painting for beginners video, I'd recommend giving that a watch. But basically what we're going to do here is start by painting in all of his face and hands with a layer of flat flesh. And before we move on to our next face color, let's just grab a little olive drab and carefully pencil in the collar of his shirt under the Santa jacket. It's a bit tough to get to, so better to tackle it now so we can more easily fix any mistakes that we might make. Alright, back to our face. Step 2 in the Faces Made Easy process is to glaze the face with a bit of light rust wash. This will help give us some liveliness and color to the skin, as well as help to accentuate some of the finer details of the sculpt. Once our rust wash is dry, let's come back with a fine tip brush in our flat flesh again and carefully highlight some of the raised features on Santa's face, like his nose and his cheekbones, as well as his fingers and his knuckles. Alright, next let's move on to Santa's Mark II helmet. We can paint that in with a bit of olive drab. Don't forget to hit the bottom portion of the helmet as well. Okay, time for Santa's beard. For our whites today, we're going to use a little creme of ice. It's not as stark as a pure white, it's more of like an eggshell, and I think it looks a little bit more natural for our purposes. While you're working on Santa's beard, just go slow and work in a few thin layers. You can see through the white paint pretty well, so you just got to build it up a bit. There we go. A nice white Santa beard. And don't forget to hit those big fluffy eyebrows as well. Alright, next let's paint up Santa's sack of presents. For this we're just going to use a nice basic dark brown color, whatever suits your fancy, whatever you've got on hand. After our sack is all set, let's paint in the trim and piping on Santa's jacket. We'll use the same creme of ice again here, just go along and paint in all those edges. And of course we can't forget about that big iconic black leather belt. And while we've got our black out, let's paint in those boots as well. And for our pants, I wanted to do something that would provide a nice pop of contrasting color, so I went with this striking medium blue color. Up to you of course, but I think the blue stands out pretty nicely against our red. Alright, once our Santa is all painted up, now we just need to add the critical finishing touches in the weathering stage. We'll start by protecting all of our hard work with a coat of gloss varnish to seal in our paint job. And once that's cured, we're going to cover our figure with some enamel dark wash. This is going to flow over our gloss varnish and settle in all the nooks and crannies of our sculpt, helping to accentuate those beautiful details on our figure. It's going to look a little messy at first, but trust me, the magic comes in the cleanup phase. Once our wash is all on there, we're going to load up our brush with some enamel odorless thinner, and we're going to remove any excess wash that we don't want from the raised parts of our sculpt. The wash we want to keep is going to flow into the recesses, helping to replicate some artificial shadow, and the extra mess will come off on the brush. Keep working with it, and once you're happy with the wash layer, let that dry completely, and then we're going to spray our figure with a coat of matte varnish to seal in our weathering work and knock down any excess shininess. And once our matte varnish is cured, we can remove Santa from his painting jig. To keep things simple today, I just mounted Santa to a quarter to serve as a nice little basic base, and I added a little golden light molding paste for snow to help capture the mood of the moment. And there you have it, my friends, your own World War II wartime Santa to add to your collection. I hope you all enjoyed this little seasonal tutorial today, and until next time, my friends, be well, happy building, cheers.